The name America resonates across the globe, a name that carries with it a sense of grandeur and significance. It evokes images of vast landscapes, from the towering Rocky Mountains to the sprawling Great Plains and diverse cultures, from the vibrant festivals of New Orleans to the serene traditions of Native American tribes. It also brings to mind a history rich with triumphs and struggles, from the fight for independence to the civil rights movement, each chapter adding depth to the American story. But how did this landmass, spanning 2 continents and countless cultures, come to bear this name that echoes through time? The answer lies in the story of Amerigo Vespucci, a Florentine navigator and explorer whose voyages to the New World in the late 15th and early 16th centuries would forever etch his name onto the map of history. Vespucci's contributions were not just about discovery, they were about understanding and documenting the new lands. Vespucci's journey from the bustling streets of Renaissance Florence to the uncharted waters of the Atlantic was a remarkable adventure. It was a time when the world was much larger and more mysterious, and the courage to venture into the unknown was a rare and celebrated trait. His tale is one of ambition, curiosity, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. Vespucci was not just an explorer, he was a scholar, a man who sought to understand the world in its entirety. He was driven by a desire to understand the world beyond the known horizons, using the tools and knowledge of his time to navigate and document his findings. His work with astronomical instruments and ancient maps was groundbreaking. This trait would ultimately lead him to play a pivotal role in the greatest geographical discovery of his time. His voyages opened up new possibilities and changed the way people thought about the world. His contributions to our understanding of the New World were not limited to exploration. Vespucci's meticulous record-keeping and insightful observations provided crucial information for mapmakers and geographers, helping to shape the future of navigation and exploration. Vespucci's detailed accounts and maps were invaluable. They provided a clearer picture of the New World, allowing Europeans to better understand the geography and potential of these new lands. His work shaped the way Europeans perceived the newly discovered lands, influencing future explorations and the eventual colonization of the Americas. His legacy extends beyond the mere naming of a continent. It encompasses a profound shift in global awareness and the dawn of a new era of exploration and discovery. Vespucci's name is a testament to the spirit of exploration and the human desire to push beyond the known. The age of exploration was a time of great change, and Vespucci's contributions were a significant part of that transformation. His work helped to usher in a new understanding of the world and our place in it, marking the beginning of a new chapter in human history. Amerigo Vespucci was born in Florence, Italy in 1454, a city renowned for its artistic and intellectual vibrancy during the Renaissance. Florence was a hub of creativity and innovation, where the seeds of modern science and art were being sown. He was raised in a family of moderate means, receiving a well-rounded education that fostered his intellectual curiosity. His family ensured that he was exposed to the best tutors and scholars of the time, which was crucial in shaping his future endeavors. From a young age, Vespucci displayed a keen interest in astronomy, geography, and the burgeoning field of navigation. He was fascinated by the stars and the mysteries they held, often spending nights gazing at the heavens and dreaming of distant lands. His family connections provided him with access to the Medici family, powerful patrons of the arts and sciences. The Medici were instrumental in the Renaissance, funding artists, scientists, and explorers, and their support was invaluable to Vespucci. Through this association, Vespucci gained valuable experience in commerce and finance, working for a prominent merchant involved in outfitting expeditions. This experience not only honed his business acumen, but also introduced him to the logistics of maritime voyages. This experience would prove invaluable in his later career as an explorer. Understanding the intricacies of trade and navigation was crucial for anyone looking to venture into the unknown. Vespucci's transition from a Florentine merchant to an explorer was gradual, but driven by his insatiable thirst for knowledge. He was not content with merely reading about distant lands, he wanted to see them for himself. He immersed himself in the study of cosmography and navigation, poring over maps and accounts of recent voyages. Vespucci was meticulous in his studies, understanding that knowledge was the key to successful exploration. The allure of the unknown, the possibility of discovering new lands and expanding the boundaries of human knowledge, beckoned him towards a life of adventure. The call of the sea was irresistible, and Vespucci knew that his destiny lay beyond the horizon. The late 15th century was a time of great maritime exploration, with the world on the brink of monumental discoveries. The spirit of adventure was in the air, and explorers were celebrated as heroes. With European powers vying for control of new trade routes and resources, the competition was fierce and the stakes were high as nations sought to expand their empires and influence. This atmosphere of discovery provided the perfect backdrop for Vespucci's ambitions, offering him the opportunity to embark on voyages that would change the course of history. His journeys would not only map new territories, but also redefine the world's understanding of geography and the cosmos. Amerigo Vespucci embarked on several voyages across the vast and treacherous Atlantic Ocean, meticulously exploring the coastlines of South America and the Caribbean. His journeys were driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desire to uncover the mysteries of the New World. While the exact number and routes of his voyages remain a subject of debate among historians, with some arguing over the authenticity of certain accounts, his detailed accounts provide invaluable insights into the geography, natural resources, and inhabitants of the New World. These records have been crucial in understanding the early interactions between Europeans and the indigenous peoples of the Americas. On his first voyage, believed to have taken place in 1497, Vespucci sailed along the northern coast of South America. This journey marked the beginning of his extensive exploration of the continent. He meticulously documented the diverse flora, fauna, and indigenous cultures he encountered, providing detailed descriptions of the land and its people. His observations included the unique plants and animals that were previously unknown to Europeans, as well as the customs and traditions of the native populations. His observations challenged the prevailing European understanding of the world, revealing the existence of a vast, unknown continent. This new information began to reshape the European worldview and sparked further interest in exploration. During subsequent voyages, Vespucci explored further south along the South American coast, reaching regions previously unknown to Europeans. His journeys took him to the far reaches of the continent, where he encountered new landscapes and cultures. He recognized that this vast landmass was not part of Asia, as Columbus had initially believed, but a separate continent altogether. This realization was a monumental discovery that would forever change the course of history. This realization was a monumental discovery, revolutionizing European understanding of world geography. It led to the eventual naming of the continent America in his honor, cementing Vespucci's legacy in the annals of history. Vespucci's voyages were not without their challenges. He faced treacherous seas, unpredictable weather, and the constant threat of shipwreck. He also encountered unfamiliar and sometimes hostile cultures, which required careful navigation and diplomacy. These encounters were fraught with danger, but also provided opportunities for cultural exchange and learning. However, his determination and meticulous record-keeping allowed him to gather invaluable information about the New World, paving the way for future exploration and colonization. Vespucci's contributions laid the groundwork for the age of exploration that followed, influencing countless explorers and adventurers who came after him. Section 4. A Continent Baptized, the Naming of America. The naming of America after Amerigo Vespucci is a story of cartographic innovation and the dissemination of knowledge. Martin Waldseemüller, a German cartographer, played a key role in this process. In 1507, Waldseemüller published a world map, which included the newly discovered lands. Inspired by Vespucci's accounts of his voyages, Waldseemüller proposed naming the continent America in honor of the explorer. He reasoned that since Americus had discovered the continent, it was fitting to name it after him. This seemingly simple act had profound and lasting consequences. The name America quickly gained popularity, appearing on subsequent maps and globes. It gradually replaced other proposed names for the new continent, solidifying Vespucci's place in history. The widespread adoption of the name cemented Vespucci's legacy as the man who inadvertently perhaps gave his name to a vast new world. The naming of America after Vespucci was not without controversy. Some argued that Columbus, who had arrived in the Americas earlier, deserved the honor. However, Vespucci's detailed accounts and his recognition of the New World as a separate continent ultimately contributed to the acceptance of his name. Section 5. Navigating the currents of exploration, Vespucci and Columbus. Amerigo Vespucci and Christopher Columbus, two towering figures of the age of exploration, were contemporaries whose paths intersected in the world of maritime discovery. While their relationship remained somewhat shrouded in mystery, their voyages and discoveries were inextricably linked. There is evidence to suggest that Vespucci may have been involved in outfitting Columbus's later voyages, providing him with supplies and navigational instruments. Although they may not have met face to face, their shared interest in exploration and their contributions to European understanding of the New World placed them firmly within the same historical narrative. Columbus, believing he had reached Asia, initially underestimated the significance of his discovery. It was Vespucci's voyages and his subsequent realization that the newly discovered lands were a separate continent that revolutionized geographical understanding. This realization ultimately paved the way for the widespread acceptance of the New World as a distinct entity. The contrasting perspectives of Columbus and Vespucci highlight the evolving understanding of world geography during this period. Columbus's initial misinterpretation and Vespucci's subsequent clarification demonstrate the process of discovery and the gradual refinement of knowledge through exploration and observation.